Welcome. How we doing, guys? Welcome to the YouTube. It's been a while coming. Had a millennia of messages about making one. So these next few episodes are going to be a bit of a tutorial on what's going to be going on in the Kerry shed for the next 2.5 weeks, getting ready for Wattos. After that, I'll be doing a bit of a rig rundown, a bit of a longer video. But my name's Jet. This is the Bundy truck named Crumpy. Brief rundown. 1989 LN106. Currently in the middle of putting GU diffs under it with the H260 rear. 40-inch Treps. The 2.8 still NA, sadly, but what can you do? Turbos are expensive. Brown interior, tan colour. Supposed to be rare, but I'm mashing it, turning it into a bit of a hopefully one day comp truck. But hope you guys enjoy the next few episodes and we'll get straight into it. So what's next on the chopping block? We will be stripping out the diff centers front and rear so that we can weld the front diff center and shim out the rear LSD center. So let's get straight into it. Have both of the rear axles just pulled out of the housing. Didn't need to take the brake caliper or any of that assembly apart, just so we could get that big H260 rear diff center out. Back here we have the front diff center, which we opted to welding just because an air locker and e-locker wouldn't arrive before the Wattigans event. So the front diff, which was originally open, as you can see, we've just welded the spider gears together. No need to use a piece of plate or anything. We have the H260 rear center housing with the center pulled out. So what we've done is, rather than welding it because it was an LSD from factory, we've pulled the crown gear off the bottom, and there's a couple of Phillips head screws to hold this top plate on, and by undoing those we were able to separate the center. That way we could pull out one of the shims, make another one out of some body panel, which is about 0.8 mil thick, and chuck that in so it will tighten up the LSD and act like a locker. Just in the process of bending up some tube as a front mount for the ram so that we can weld the clamps for the ram onto it. Also having some longer sleeves made for the tie rod ends to link to the swivel hub housings, as this ram and tie rods were made to suit Hilux, not GU diff, which is a lot wider. Also have the orbital in place so we can start running some lines there and figuring out how we're gonna attach the steering shaft to it. What I've done here with the ram mount is bend up some tube just as a bit of a crash bar. That way we can tack that onto the diff housing and mold some plate around it to hold the ram. We're gonna have a piece of flat plate on top of it that the ram clamps will be welded to. Underneath we'll have skid pan, if you could call it that, which will be a piece of flat plate and will go to the bottom of the diff housing. Once we've got all of that tacked onto this tube, we'll break off the tacks and pull it off as one. That way we'll be able to strengthen the inside of the mount with some RHS, and then it can go back on and be fully welded on. We also need to pull off the swivel hub housings to weld on some high steer mounts that the hind link joints will bolt into, as standard swivel hub housings for a GU only have a drag link mount on one side. With the swivel hub housings being cast, you've got to preheat it and post heat it, so you can't just weld it in place. When I picked up these GU diffs, I swapped them for a set of 37 Treps, and I wasn't entirely sure of the internal condition of them, as I hadn't pulled them apart yet. We found that the front wheel bearings were pretty well shot, and with that spindle, the locking nut had been jammed on and something had crushed the threads in there, so it was a real pain to get off. So we'll need to replace all the seals and wheel bearings in it just to make it Mickey Mouse. Bit of a shame about that, but look, what can you do? Marketplace things happen. Alright guys, that's going to conclude it for the first episode of the Hilux build. Just wanted to say a massive thank you to Matt, Dylan and everybody else who chipped in a hand along the way. Couldn't have done it without them blokes. And a big thank you to Andrew, whose channel I'll link in the description, for letting us occupy his shed for a couple of weeks. Had a few good laughs in there, but have a fair bit more content to come. Have a few more videos, polishing off the rest of the build. I'll be doing a bit of a rig rundown after that, and I'll be throwing a few clips of it out in the bush. But yeah, big thanks to everybody that's watched all the way through this. Welcome to the YouTube channel. There's gonna be a fair bit more stuff to come, but yeah, massive thanks for watching everyone, and we'll catch you in the next one then.